All right, welcome to the Ringer Gambling Show, Friday edition. Cousin Sal here, Anthony Dabbundo, Danny Heifetz, a.k.a. Tony Tokens, and the hype man himself. I don't know, I'm trying to give nicknames that stick. I'm really, fellas, I don't know. Is it working? The hype man, Heifetz, have you heard that before?
I'll take it, though. I'll take it. How do we feel about
you have no choice.
Dabbundo as Tony?
Tony Tokens? I like that. I really want that to stick. I know he's got some other people are throwing other things at him, but I
think she'll beat you to the punch.
Sal.
What do you mean he beat me to the punch? What did he do?
He gave me the nickname Tony Buns last year when I joined the Ringer, and I think that is going to be a tough one to top.
All right, he could stick to ranking wide receivers. I like alliterations here.
I want to call you Unk Sal.
That's fine. That's good.
Chopped? Unk and chopped?
Way.
Or just Unk?
Unk and chopped Sal.
The Ringer Gambling Show is presented by FanDuel. FanDuel's got it all. Same-game parlays, quick bets for jumping in live, and your way so you can build the bet that fits your parlay. Plus, don't miss out on holiday offers and surprises all month long. Download the FanDuel app or head to FanDuel.com/gamblers to get started. 21 plus and present in select states, or 18 plus and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut.
I'm just trying to cheer myself up here. That Thursday night football game was atrocious. We have Ringer 107 picks we're going to go over. That might actually be more depressing than Thursday night football. College football, conference championship picks. We're going to handicap the headlines, plays of the day. But let's recap that disgusting Thursday night affair. Dallas goes to Detroit, loses 44-30. There's no way we were going to be happy 2 Thursdays in a row. So, guys, what do you think of this, though? I was thinking about it with sports. Like, I was so fine being done with this team for the year after they lost to Arizona. But sports is like, it's not like anything else. Like, if you love music, you're not going to flip-flop on a band for the most part. You almost know immediately if you like them or not, right? You're not going to flip-flop on whether you like a relative pretty much. But sports sucks you back in when you're more than happy being finished. Am I right with this, Dabbundo? This is they when they lost to the cruddy Cardinals, it would have been fine. Why did I fall for all this?
Well, I guess the question is, like, relative to preseason, have you had fun watching Dallas this year?
Oh, I have to answer that now?
Yeah.
Yeah, yes and no. Of course, the answer is yes and no. Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like it's yes. Like, I think they're entertaining to watch. We all knew they were flawed preseason when they traded Micah. We're like, they're not going to play defense this year. Maybe a couple weeks of the year, they tricked us into thinking they might be a good defense. But at no point has this ever been like a great defense. And so they're going to play these entertaining shootouts. And
all right.
I enjoy watching them, but I'm not a fan.
I see why
so
you do. Right. Of
Yeah.
course. Like I like watching Shedeur Sanders, like for the same reason. It's entertaining, but so that would go nuts if that was my team. Hype man, what do you think of this? Like I feel like I was set going into the game. I'm like, it's fine. Let's move for next year. I was unlike most Cowboys fans, and then immediately the emotions come over. That Ferguson penalty, which was the worst offensive OPI of this year, maybe many years. I was at an outdoor karaoke party screaming my head off while the accounting department at Kimmel triple teamed Mr. Brightside. And I just I don't know, it just takes over again. How do I get rid of it now?
Well, I think the problem, Sal, is that you believe in something. I don't know if it's a higher power or like a oneness of the universe, and you should stop believing in anything right and true and good. And you have to kill the hope that still lingers somewhere deep inside of you and just embrace that we're just on a dark planet floating through the universe in a void and just extinguish the hope.
Holy crap.
That's cynical.
I am cheered up. You cheered me up. The hype man does it again. How did he do it?
It's World Cup draw day. I'm all excited, and now I'm all sad.
Welcome.
Heifetz just ruined my day.
The hope man, the no hope man. I don't know what it is. All right, so let's talk about the game. I mean, I could go off on the refs for that call, and it sucked. But Jake Ferguson, that fumble killed us. We were due for a sloppy game, right? Like, Jake Ferguson, I think, fumbled once in 35 games and now has 7 in his last 25.
You
the
could
Lions.
tell Dak was so mad. He came up, Dak like ran to him and was like, "Why were you holding the ball that way?"
Right. What is it with that? And like, I just late in the game, the Lions' average field position was the 43-yard line. But what do you guys take away from that? I felt we were due for a sloppy game, and we had a sloppy game, and the Lions, still a tremendous offense, took full advantage of it. Heifetz.
I think that we were a little too close to the sun of having to actually compliment Jerry Jones, and I personally am happy that we were spared from an entire offseason of, are we secretly worried Jerry Jones is a genius? Because I do think we had a few weeks of Jerry Jones, which is his whole life story, which is this Micah Parsons trade, and everything else Jerry's ever done in his life is he tries to shoot himself in the foot and he misses, and then he hits the ground and a bunch of oil shoots out. And that's kind of been his entire life for like 50 years, and that was this Quinnen Williams trade. But no, I mean, they looked like, this looked like a team that was the worst defense in the NFL for 2 months, and then they were average. But yeah, you're an incredibly flawed team, and they're never going to make you happy, and they're never really going to satisfy you. However, I do think they could be pretty good next season.
Well,
there you go. That's
what I'm...
Just when he was out, Heifetz in the first segment, he pulls him out. Now he's pulling him back in.
You only got to run the table to have a 47% chance, Sal.
I saw that. I'm not even buying that. I saw 51. Why are you saying 47 when it's 51? No, I'm not.
Can you bet on that? What would the Cowboys' percentage chance be if they ran the table to make the playoffs?
Well, you can. I mean, because they'll have to run the table, and we could go over odds change. And by the way, the odds shift. This is what happens with Cowboys fans or whoever's betting these things. They place odds on to make the playoffs, and then overnight it'll go down and down and down because idiots are doing this. They're plus 760 to make the playoff. Detroit minus 140. Dabbundo, do you see any value in either of those?
I think Dallas is still worth a flyer, to be honest with you.
Here we go. I mean, here comes the nonsense. Go ahead.
There still are a lot of divisional games to happen across these other divisions. Like Green Bay and Detroit are done, but Chicago's going to play Detroit again. Chicago and Green Bay are going to play each other.
You're talking about for a wild card? Like those teams are all
whoever
locked
I'm saying,
in
like if whoever loses those games.
The 7 seed's going to have a 10 wins by next time we talk, like, right? This
Possible.
We can't get to 10. I don't know.
And then the question is, like, do you think the Eagles could fall off here?
Well, so I think that would be the way in. Go ahead, Heifetz. Hype man, back me up here. It's not happening.
I mean, one, I think that's just cruel and unusual to do to Sal right now. He's literally starts this show by saying, I want to stop believing. Help me stop believing. I try to put him out of your misery. And you're sitting here saying, I think you'll win every single game and make the playoffs. Cruel. Two, do you actually think that with CeeDee Lamb concussed and probably out next week? And
that was ugly.
I mean, I'm not really optimistic about this team.
No, nobody is. They just like building them up so they could tear them down. That's what the media does. You're in the media, Dabbundo. I don't know if anyone told you that, but that's where you are now.
I'm also a Dak truther, so I think they can beat the Vikings without CeeDee Lamb next week at home.
Yeah,
the offense scored, 30 points with a sloppy game, despite not having Lamb for half of it.
Right
on the road.
Okay, let's talk about George Pickens, who everyone, including myself, went over the moon there. 5 catches, 37 yards. More importantly, that last drive, they're down 44-30. There's a pass thrown really at his feet. Now, this is we've seen him climb on defenders' shoulders to catch balls, and he just let that. And then there's other plays where he didn't run routes or whatever. He was single covered for most of the game, even with Lamb out. Some people say, Dabbundo, that effort or lack thereof cost him $10 to $15 million.
I don't know, though, because that's just part of the package. And do you think that teams are going to hold that against him that heavily if he's still producing 8 of the other 10 games? Like, I think, yes, if he has another game like that, another performance where he seems a little disinterested, and maybe like when the team isn't doing well, it seems to reflect poorly upon him. Like when he doesn't believe the team can still win the game, he doesn't always give his 110%. But like you're still going to get teams betting on the talent and the ability and the highlights and the opportunity, because if they don't, somebody else will. There will be a dumber team who does make that bet. I'm not saying it's a good bet. I'm saying there are going to be teams that make the bet.
But this is why Pittsburgh, who's normally right about these things, with receivers at least, cut ties with them. We're seeing this. And I don't know, Heifetz, I'd rather it be like a game against Arizona. Like, if you're not going to show up for a big game, I think that I don't know if it's $10 or $15 million, but it spoke volumes about the George Pickens we might see in the future.
I know. I had thought George Pickens was such an upstanding and focused and reliable young man, and I was shocked and appalled that George Pickens would be.
We're not allowing sarcasm on the show today. I forgot to tell you. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Then in all seriousness, I guess maybe he's just a huge Cowboys fan if he's checked out in December. Maybe it means he's actually a really good follower of the team.
Oh, man. Why do I go to you with this?
He's like, why do I have hope? I can't believe they want me to believe that this team can make the playoffs. Just think about next season. It's smart, really.
Jesus. I guess let's point to some positives for the Lions. Gibbs again, 120 combined yards, 3 touchdowns. I know people, it's blasphemous to compare him to Barry Sanders. Sanders at this point in his career, 5 yards a carry, Gibbs 5.5. Rice, 43 total touchdowns, Gibbs 47. Emmett, 4,600 total yards, Gibbs 47.26. Dabbundo is, how real of a deal is Jahmyr Gibbs?
I mean, the broadcast kept flashing the stat, right? It was most touchdowns. He tied Barry Sanders' record last night. I mean, Shield made this case on the Ringer NFL show that if you just took all the context and all the stats and you didn't look up any information and you were just an NFL fan who sat on the couch at 1 p.m. every Sunday and watched, 7 hours of commercial-free football, and then you watch the primetime games and you consumed no content, looked at no information, maybe you even watched the game on mute so that the commentators couldn't bias you, and you said, who's the most explosive player in the NFL? You'd probably say John Taylor, but Jahmyr Gibbs would be right there. And I think that's a testament to him. And also, I think my biggest takeaway is just Dan Campbell. We counted out, and I was one of them, counted out this offense. They haven't been great the last couple months. And last night was just you know what? Let's run play action. Let's get the ball to our best players as much as possible, and let's let them cook. And that's a winning strategy for so many players and coaches. Just get out of the way. Don't overcomplicate it. And find the way to get your best players in space and let them cook.
Yeah, smart. 2nd and 15, they'd get 13 or 16, at least set up an easier third down. Yeah, everything, you'll appreciate this, Heifetz. You're a fantasy guy, right, still? But everything, honestly, was torture for me. I know nobody cares about fantasy in the ways what happened to your team, but it's like you lost a largemouth bass. You had it all right, whatever. Or you chipped from 20 yards, 3 feet from the pin, but everyone's got the stories and I don't want to hear them, but you're going to hear mine.
Okay.
The league where the winner kicks the loser out, that one I'm in with Simmons and John Hamm and a few others. So there's a bunch of 6-7 teams. There we go. And Simmons and I are one of them, 2 of them, and battling for that last playoff spot. Another 6-7 was my fantasy opponent last night, Kevin Hench, Boston guy. Simmons has had him on the podcast, a despicable person, despicable by all accounts. He scored 93 points in that game, 93. Gibbs and Aubrey, 57. Montgomery and Dak, the rest of it.
Stop. He's already dead.
It's right. It's how much torture can I have in one game?
Wait, so every Brandon Aubrey kick in that game, you're losing in fantasy? You're watching your own
Yes.
team?
Yeah.
It was they were trying to get him long field goals. They got down the field and then Pickens nope, face mask.
Not only are you bringing field goals to a touchdown fight, but then every single one's against you in fantasy is pretty incredible.
I want to do Heifetz. We have the Ringer Fantasy League, and I think the 5th and 6th place go by most points and not record. That's how it should be. Let's make that a national focus. It shouldn't be nonsense records getting in tiebreakers, right?
It is a good format. Yes.
Who's in last right now?
Well, it doesn't really matter. In the Ringer Fantasy.
The Ringer League right now, DK and I are the first 2 buys, and then the 3rd and 4th seeds are locked up as House and Sal, and then the 5th and 6th are the highest points scored. So then the last place is going to be whoever doesn't make the playoffs. They're going to be a rumble between Bill, Chris, Sean, Mal, Van, and Craig.
Wow.
And so the two lowest advance, right, out of those when you say
the 2 most
losing
scored,
scores. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Brandon Aubrey, and then we'll get off this hideous game, has more fantasy points, 163 this season, than Justin Jefferson, Saquon Barkley, Ashton Genty, and Drake London. He'd currently rank as QB 22, or as Ruiz calls it, Baker Mayfield, running back 12, wide receiver 7, and tight end 2. That's crazy, Heifetz.
What round would Brandon Aubrey go in if there were if you had to draft for the 2026 season right now?
Fantasy or real life? I think real life is a 2nd round pick.
I think I agree, but in fantasy,
no, he can't be.
Is he a 7th or 8th round pick?
I'd probably go Jahmyr Gibbs 1st, McCaffrey 2nd, and Chase 3rd, and probably Aubrey 4th.
Right.
He's it is interesting with him, because this is gonna be because they could franchise him next year or George Pickens. Imagine a team having a decision like that. Jerry will make the right move.
The bust rate on him is way lower though, right? Because he just comes in, he kicks, he's indoors.
Right.
The year.
Yeah.
The bust rate's really important.
All right. Hey, today's Ringer 107, also important, brought to you by FanDuel. Let's do this. Dabbundo, you and I, 1-4 last week. Nice job. 29-36 on the year. Ringer fantasy team led by the hype man, Danny Heifetz, 2-3, 31-34. Wow, that's good enough to tie you for first and third place.
Wow.
Heifetz. I want to continue to try to spice up these, the 107 if there's
Not right now, Sal. We're in last
Well,
place.
that's what I said. Billy Gill, who's fallen nicely into this little network we've created here, sent me a suggestion. The loser wears one of those dog cones on the street.
Oh, that's good.
I like that. And then I was like, you know what, Billy? 2 weeks ago, I was into this idea. Now that we're firmly in last, I don't care as much.
I wish we had done that as a punishment in the Ringer League. That is so funny.
Yeah, that's good. Hold on to
Simmons
that
doing a pod with a dog cone on. They'd have to like sneak a mic into the cone.
one. Wearing a Pat
will
McAfee
say,
jersey. Yeah.
Oh my God. We had an idea for the Ringer 107, and I think we might do this. If we are still in first for the playoffs, we think we might, maybe going forward, if it's allowed, we might just submit our picks every week as whatever Bill and House took, but
the opposite.
But the
The
opposite.
Bizarro.
We just
Interesting.
want to fade Bill and House every week.
Wow.
And they can pick whatever they want.
It would be tough
and
with the
we're gonna
parlay,
win.
but other than
And
that,
we're going to win.
yeah.
And
That's
then-
an
or-
amazing way to get a new contract. That's really
Or-
good. I think
yeah.
that's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Or we actually have another idea. I think the other four teams, we each want your best pick
I
every
see.
week.
Yeah.
You give your best favorite pick, and we'll
So
take the
smug.
other side.
So smug.
And
So
we're gonna.
smug.
Well, everyone's
Like
under
our-
500, so
Our
don't
wise
appreciate
statistically,
wager, you would say, Heifetz, our wise wager.
well, no, your
We've
wise
done well on
wagers
those.
are doing well. But it's funny that if we had just
Right.
faded everyone's picks all year, we'd probably be.
It's
like,
not
kinda running
funny.
away with it.
It's not funny. We got to get out of last place here. So, Dabbundo, what are we going to do to get out of last place? We have the good,
Las
the bad,
Vegas
and the
Raiders.
ugly. Let's start with the bad and the ugly. The Las Vegas Raiders. You know what? We put our pick in, Dabbundo, and I swear to Jesus, 4 minutes later, Max Crosby went from limited participant to knee injury. So, Tony Tokens, tell us why this doesn't matter, and we're taking the Raiders plus 7.5.
Look, Denver has played 6 games away from Mile High this year. They haven't won any of them by more than a score. They've been the ultimate cardiac Broncos this year. Every game, whether they're playing the Commanders, the Jets, Giants, that was a home game. They've just been in these close games, and they're not able to separate because they're not able to play consistently good offense for 4 quarters. I mean, we saw this last week. I was like, wow, Bo Nix has put together a really good half, and it was the first half. Like, you're like, wow, the Broncos offense. And then the fourth quarter rolls around, punt, pick, punt, overtime, and then they end up winning on the 2-point conversion failure. But this Denver team continues to just win every game close, and they're not explosively consistent enough to pull away, even from a team as bad as the Raiders. So, you go back a month, this game happened on Thursday night. The Raiders were plus 8.5 in Denver, plus 9, covered with relative ease. I think they can do the same. Now, can they block Denver? Not sure. Certainly an issue. But I think with Bowers healthy again, Denver has struggled with tight ends. That could be an opportunity for them to get back in this game and keep it close. Divisional road dogs tend to do well this late in the year.
10-7 that Thursday night game was. I had Denver on a money line parlay. I always figure it's a nice way to start the week, and it just ripped whatever was left of my hair out of my head there. All right, so that's one. That's a winner. We saw with a winner, the Raiders plus 7.5. Another winner, Green Bay minus 6.5 over Chicago. I tried this last week with Philly against Chicago. It wasn't a 107 pick for us, but I bet it thinking it would be a great get-right game for the Eagles. Instead, it was a get-rich game for whoever took my bet. Lady by the name of Fanny Duel, I think. But I'm going to go back to the well. We're taking the Packers, laying the points. It's north of a half dozen here. One thing we know from the greatest rivalry in sports that we're not going to get a memorable game, right? Have I talked to you guys about this? These two teams have played, 100 times since 1975, and there are maybe 2 notable games? Are there more Heifetz? What am I forgetting?
You're more right than you even think, because if you take out games the Packers bench their starters in week 18 because they made the playoffs, the last 17 games they've played, so a full season, the last 17 Packers games, the Bears are 1-16.
Right. Oof. Yeah. Ugly. Yeah. History. Yeah. Bears 1-11 straight up, I think, in the last 12. I think you baby said.
And the one win, they Packers bench their starters. So it's really an 0-11 streak.
Yeah. 2-10 against the spread in those games. And I still think Chicago's slightly fraudulent. 5 straight wins by single digits. They're the number 1 seed, but they drop to 7 if they lose this. They have 17 interceptions on the year, which is phenomenal. And with that, they're the 26th ranked scoring defense. They're the 28th ranked rush defense. So I expect a big game out of Jacobs. And, with that interception stat, it means if Love or anyone could play mistake-free football, which I think Green Bay can at home, it shouldn't be close, and I don't think it will be. The Lambos 31, the Bears 19. We won't be seeing Ben Johnson's nipples this week. I feel good about that one.
It's really cold. You might.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, all right.
I'm surprised you guys weren't on the Bears. I thought you guys were going to be on the Bears, Heifetz.
The Bears don't force punts, and they allow points, and they get turnovers. And if the Packers don't turn the ball over, they're going to score a lot. So I like Green Bay in this game.
Yeah, my one concern, I mean, the Chicago run game is real, and Wyatt is out now for Green Bay, and Green Bay is metrically very good defensively against the run. But without him, are they as good? One of the top run stoppers. But ultimately, I mean, I've said this for weeks. I'm a skeptic of the Bears, but so is the betting markets. So it's like, is there value betting against them? There hasn't been yet. We will see.
This is my EIE play of the week. Enough is enough. Does that match up? Yeah, that's got to be enough.
I thought you were like
yes, that's
old
that.
McDonald over there.
And there's nothing we could do about it.
All
right.
What is it? EIEI. Enough is enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead, young McDonald. Take us through Buffalo -5.5.
Yeah, Buffalo -5.5. We're going against Cincinnati for, I think, like the 8th time this year. We've been very skeptical of the Bengals. And look, I know Joe Burrow came back. Joe Cool. Everybody's all excited. He made some nice passes to Jamar Chase. I don't know about you, but like when I went back through the box score, I was like, wait, they actually weren't very efficient offensively in this game. They finished
24
less
for
than
46, right?
Yeah,
Burrow. Yeah,
less than half, almost or right around half of his completions.
Yeah.
Passes were completed. It was just a very uneven performance, and I think ultimately that was more about Baltimore shooting themselves in the foot, fumbling into the end zone, touchdown callback for OPI, Lamar doing mysterious things that would be considered point shaving if we were looking at it in a different way. I mean, it was crazy. The end of the half sequence, they started inside the Ravens 40 like 6 times and kept kicking field goals. I think Buffalo at home against this defense is going to be a slaughter. And I know the Bengals have been feistier since the bye and all that, but this is a very untalented team that can't cover tight ends, that can't cover anybody, can't stop the run. I think this is a downhill Bills win and cover -5.5.
I'm with you. Well, I'm literally with you because we're teammates here. But the Bills have won a couple at home by 12 and then one by 10. But I feel like this is a Jim Kelly, Thurman Thomas, Andre Reed type eruption versus a poor Bengals secondary, one that the Ravens couldn't exploit for some reason. All right, pick number 4, Chargers +2.5. Listen, we were stuck after 3 games, Dabbundo, and I don't want to. You're a nice fellow, but I don't want to talk to you for hours on the phone, right? So after. At the 88-minute mark, I was like, let's just figure this out tomorrow. So we almost just submitted 3 picks, Heifetz. We were willing to take losses for the last 2. Then it hit me. The Chargers are winning, and that's because there's some urgency. Not nearly as much urgency for Philly now, who will be without Jalen Carter, and will capitalize off that Dallas loss. They won't be without fans. SoFi is going to be loaded with Philly fanatics, but so what? It's not like they've gone nuts in front of their fans at home. When Philly's coming off a loss under Sirianni, they are 8-15 against the spread in their next game. They're 1-4 against the number the last 5 Monday night games. I just think with Lane Johnson, no practice again, Jalen Carter, 2 shoulder injuries. Like without those guys, this is a very average team. Saquon has 1,000 fewer yards than he had this time last year total. Herbert's got the injury on the less dominant hand. I don't think he'll have to do too much. Chargers won a close one, 23-21, so we're going to grab the 2.5 here, Dabbundo.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I like about this matchup for the Chargers, they play a lot of zone defensively, and they force teams to be methodical and move the ball without explosives. The Eagles have been bad against zones. Hurts has always struggled with it, but especially this year. And they're not methodical. They get so many 3 and outs. They're reliant on explosive plays to keep this offense afloat, and they can get it. Certainly, we all know the talent's there, but can we see it for like 4 quarters in a row? Have we seen it for 4 quarters in a row for more than one game at a time? No, we haven't. So I'm with you here, of course, but I also think this could be an ugly game. I mean, the Eagles' offense is so tough to watch because when you watch it back, it's like nobody's ever in sync or on time or understanding where they want to be on the field. So it's a bizarre team right now to try to figure out.
Here's what I love most about this game, though, Dabbundo. If at the end of Sunday it's impossible for us to be 0-5.
Because
You know what I'm saying?
Because we have the Monday night game.
Because we have the Monday night game.
Right.
Yes. We could easily be
We're like
0-4.
0-7 on Monday night this year, I think.
Oh, all right.
Because we've been like
so-
2-2 a few different times going into Monday
Right.
night, and we always lose the Monday night game.
Yeah. Look at Heifetz just laughing. Like, yeah, just give me your picks. We'll fade them. We'll fade them all. It's good.
Statistically, if everyone's under 500, we would definitely be winning if we had just faded everyone.
How did this happen? How did the mediocre? I'm waiting for you guys to pull away. We go 1-4 2 weeks in a row. We're like 2 games out of first. Like, give me a
keeping
break
it
or 2 out of 3
close.
weeks.
We're doing the Lord's work.
I
here.
don't appreciate this. All right, Dabbundo, the 5th pick. This pick I think you just sent. Picks are due Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern, and Tony Tokens just sent this like 20 minutes ago. He had a lot of trouble. Yeah, I was like, just make the pick. I don't care. It was Miami -3, which you thought was 2.5, and then you just said, F it. There's no punishment for losing this thing. We're
Right.
taking the Dolphins over the
I've
Jets.
reached the Joker levels of this competition.
Yeah.
There's
for
also
what
no
it's-
reward, by the way.
Yeah,
there is no
right.
reward. Yeah.
We threw around a trip to Vegas, and then nothing was finalized.
No.
Yeah. You get to put the dog cone on the person who loses.
There you
But
go.
no, I think the one matchup issue for the Jets here is they can't really tackle well, and they struggle with short underneath throws. So if your issue is guarding the short pass, and now you're playing the Tua McDaniel offense, I know it's cold. I know it's going to be below 40 degrees at MetLife, and therefore, like, Tua is going to be rendered completely incapable of completing the forward pass, and that is an absolute risk of this game. Yes, but if you go back and watch, we had the Jets last week. They got so lucky with the special teams last week. Atlanta was just ruining the game left and right. I think Miami can play a somewhat more buttoned up game and get the win here on the road against the Jets. We're laying the 3. Do I love it? Honestly, I don't even love it. But it's a tough week to get 5, and we're going with the Dolphins -3.
That was
think
one
this
of the
is a
more
smart pick.
Oh, good. Go ahead, Heifetz. Why is it smart?
Because of what he just said, all that stuff, the tackle. I think this is a smart pick.
You guys care about tackling and stuff. No, it's the special teams touchdowns for the Jets or special teams big plays have been big, but I think one of the best special teams plays occurred in this game. Wasn't Miami at New York when the Jets threw like a Hail Mary before half and it was run back for a touchdown? Am I
Black
just making that up
Friday
in my
2
head?
years ago.
That's
yeah.
what it was, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Same
Tua,
deal. Okay.
Tua threw a
Boyle.
pick 6.
That was when Aaron Rodgers' buddy Tim
Tua threw
Boyle
it.
actually had to play the game
Right. There you
on
go.
Black Friday.
All right, Heifetz, let's run through yours real quick. Seahawks -7. Why not? Bucks -8.5 over New Orleans. Washington catching a 1.5 against Minnesota. Yikes, good luck there. Steelers +5.5 against the Ravens. Boy, that's been moving all over the place with the Lamar Jackson's availability up in the air. But let's talk through Colts -1.5 because that's Tony Token's team, and I was gonna stick him with this one. Tell us why you like it.
Well, Daniel Jones' leg is broken, but you know what? Trevor Lawrence's brain is broken. So we're going to go with the
wow.
Colts. And also, Daniel Jones's college friends from Duke made a little pad that he scanned his leg with an app, and then they printed a pad for him. So it's fixed. So I think the leg is fine, and we're taking the Colts.
Really? Is that really it? That's all you're going by here.
His friends made
He's
an
got
app.
some smart friends at Duke.
They said it's fixed. So I think his leg's fine, you know?
Okay. I do like
Let's
this.
Trevor Lawrence's friends make an app. Fix his head.
I see. I don't know. I do like this, Dabbundo. You don't like your team in this spot because of the Jags magic here, but the Colts.
I mean, I'm worried about our run defense. Without Buckner, our run defense kind of falls off. Now, they really struggled against Atlanta. They didn't struggle as much against Houston and KC, but those teams, they can't run the ball. Jacksonville can. And so I'm a little worried that the Jags can play some ball control here, run it on us. Strange is back. We have a Strange issue that we can't cover tight ends this year. I'm going to go and say that I'm not going to bet this game, and I'm just going to root for my team. But if I had to, if you made me pick it, I would be against my squad here.
I'm not going to make you pick it.
No,
I
Dabundo's
can't-
got
I
the
can't force
Raiders
anything.
instead.
I really didn't want to. We have
Yeah,
the Raiders.
exactly.
Yeah.
Why,
I have
when
enough.
you have the Raiders right in front of you, why would you take a team that's probably going to the playoffs? Yeah. All right. Listen, we talked about your team here, Dabbundo. We talked about my team way too much. I do want to bring up Heifetz before we go to break. Your Giants, I feel I'm now on the side of that Dart is getting too much criticism for running out of bounds, for not running bounds. It looks bad. I don't know how you make it aesthetically how it could look better. He gets pinballed 15 feet in the air. He's shooting like a Marvel movie every time he gets hit. So that's not pretty. But if this guy's running out of bounds on 3rd and 3, 2 yards short to avoid getting a hit, I guarantee Giants fans are pissed, right? You can't have it both ways.
No, it's the only thing I want is to this guy not get hurt. That was also the worst beat of the year. Was I had Jackson Dart under 14 and a half feet getting flown in the air, and then he hit 15
Wow.
feet in the air.
Okay.
But I think it's more about wanting him. All he had to do was just not take excessive hits, and he just took the most visually excessive hit I've seen. I don't know if I've seen a quarterback get hit harder the entire
Why
season.
does he go flying like that? He's not a small gentleman.
It was almost Rosenfels-esque.
You know, Austin Powers was like, "Hope your Wire team is ready." Like that really looked like what it was. Like it was like the
Right.
Matrix or something. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think about this week? The bye week is favored by a full touchdown. And I'm a little,
No,
I think
it's
they
too
might
much.
cover.
Giants
It's
first
too
half,
much.
bye week, second half.
Yeah.
Simmons is putting it in a parlay as his fifth pick with I don't know how he's pulling this off.
Bye week
By the way,
money line.
House said we're not doing parlays anymore.
They
And
did
the
one,
graphic
right?
has not been tweeted, but there's a parlay from
I'm
House
sure.
and Simmons this
How do
week.
you know? Look at you. You're on the
listened to the
inside of
pod.
the graphic. Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
I know. You cover everything. All right. Today's Ringer 107 was brought to you by FanDuel. Odds are subject to change. We are going to take a break. When we return, we got player props in the NFL. We got some college football and handy clipping. We're going to do it all. Ringer Gambling when we return. All right. Welcome back to the Ringer Gambling Show. Cousin Sal, Tony Tokens, the hype man himself, Danny Heifetz. We're here. We did, what did we do? We did Ringer 107 picks. We did 107 reasons to not bet the Cowboys to make the playoffs. Let's do player props. These are becoming popular, Dabbundo, in sports betting world. Let's hit them hard here. Now you like you're everything Bills, right?
Yep.
I guess we're in the same boat here. And what do you
Some of
doing
it
here
is sour grapes because I was the holder of an Isaiah Likely anytime touchdown last week when he made it so close to the end zone before
against Cincinnati? Yeah.
coughing the ball up. And you know what? The story I feel like was right. The handicap was correct. It was the idea that they just can't cover tight ends, and they are historically bad at trying to cover them. And last week, even though they didn't score, Likely and Andrews were the two leading receivers for the Ravens. It looks like Kincaid is back this week. I'm going to bet Kincaid at 2-1 to score, but because I know if I bet Kincaid and not Dawson Knox, Knox will score. I got FOMO. I threw in Knox to score as well at plus 320. So Kincaid and Knox, both, maybe a little half unit on each, 2-1, plus 320. We'll ride again against this Bengals linebacking group that cannot cover a soul.
Interesting. This is something I would do, and people would call me an idiot for taking trying to cover yourself on the tight end thing or whatever. Not especially great odds. But you think so? You really? I guess I know you have to split to make money here, but you're not betting $100,000 on it either, right?
Hold on here. I mean, when the Bengals played the Steelers, all three Steelers tight ends scored a touchdown. I actually, if you
Interesting.
parlay Kincaid and Knox to both score, it's 13-1.
I
Wow.
did that last week too with Likely and Andrews, and Andrews was
how'd
open
that
in the
go?
end zone, and then Lamar threw an interception instead.
I saw that.
I kind of like Kincaid and Knox 13-1 to both score.
Well,
Really?
there we
Okay.
go. We call
Well,
that
you
an
can't take
escalator,
that.
Heifetz. It's an escalator.
Yeah, you can't take
Not a
that
kneel.
though. Hype man, you got to do one for yourself on your own here. Mahomes' rushing yards has been just a roller coaster ride over the years. Take us through why you like it this week.
For a couple reasons. I mean, the Chiefs are going to be down 3 of their starting 5 offensive linemen against the best defense in the AFC. So, which
be a
is
problem.
great. So they're down their left tackle, Josh Simmons. They're probably down their right tackle, Jawan Taylor. They're probably down their, the right guard, Trey Smith. That's like the second highest paid guy after Mahomes. The second highest paid guard in the NFL. The first round pick this year. Best defense in the AFC. The Texans. It's going to be a mess. Real life, you're watching the game. It's going to be ugly. Mahomes is going to have to run. He's going to get sacked a lot. Doesn't count negative. But the reality is Mahomes, his entire career has always ran more when the games were on the line. They won so much early in the year. That's why for 5-6 years it felt like, the later in the season you go, the more Mahomes runs. And he ran more early in the season because they were losing. This game is basically an elimination game. If the Chiefs lose this game, I believe they have a 90% chance of missing the playoffs. I think you're going to see Mahomes run a ton. I think you're going to see Mahomes take more hits, Jackson Dart-esque, than you usually see. So the line on his rushing in this game is 22. I think he'll have that in like the first half. I think you could escalate it up to 40 or I think he's rushing for touchdown. I think he's going to be running this whole game.
Houston's also
Interesting.
not afraid to play man. Like they're going to man up. and that will open up running lanes. They're one of the few teams left, and when they play Mahomes, they're like, we don't care what the numbers say. We're playing man.
Yeah, let me ask you guys this. When the favorite, you got the quarterback on the favored team, how many yards, if any, are factored into the kneel down potential? You think one? What I'm saying is if Mahomes kneels down.
Oh, they're going to lose. So you took Houston in the 107.
No, but they're the favorites.
I know, but I was talked out of it. Were you guys surprised the Chiefs? Is there a reason the Chiefs are favored other than they're home and people are afraid of Mahomes in an elimination game? But
I mean, if you just do
not
price compare, they closed 4.5 to the Colts, 1-3. Closed 3.5 to the Texans. Colts were favored over Houston last week. There's been a lot of those. Like,
dig up my model here. I don't know where.
Yeah, what's your model say?
Price is 3.5.
My model makes it 3 for what it's worth, but my model isn't worth the
I just
the
thought
paper
the Chiefs 2.5.
It's imaginarily printed on. So
my model just it's talked about earthquakes over under 8.0 in November. But anyway, that's
so.
What
else you got?
What was your Google search model?
Shut up. No, but honestly, do you think this would be if like Mahomes was an underdog, if it was anyone other than Mahomes? And, 3 kneel downs, we saw it in the Super Bowl, that over rushing
that was more than 3
Mahomes.
yards.
Yeah, that exactly. I mean, you could be over by 20 and not make it.
If you lose that way, though, it's better story. You lost, but you have a good story.
They only do the quarterback kneel down where they back up like 5 yards and take the kneel down. They only do that in the playoffs. That's a good point.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's like it's like a form of showboating.
Yeah.
So you say 0, not even a half yard is considered for something like that when they come up with the total.
I think you're forever scarred on that, but I think you've forgotten how few times the Chiefs have had. I don't think how many times has Mahomes had to take a kneel in the last 2 years? Like they've won 6 games on the final play of the season last.
But they're
year.
favored. They're still favored in a close game. Yeah. So anyway, all right.
One of my favorite betting wins all year. I had an SGP, and we get on the show. It was a Sunday night Lions-Eagles game. And I had under 31.5 rushing yards for Jalen Hurts. He was sitting on 32. They did 2 consecutive tush pushes for no yards. And then they got the ball back with 30 seconds left, took 1 knee, and I won the bet. And I was like, that was the greatest win I'll have all year. Like that.
They took a knee for 0 yards?
For -1 to get under the number. I had under.
Oh, you were under. You had
Sal,
under.
Is that your prop of the week this week? Negative yards on kneel downs? Is that your prop?
No, that would be good. I mean, you should be able to take that. I have something. I have a doozy here. Myles Garrett, more than 1.75 sacks at plus 125. Now, truth be told, if you shop around, you can get this at 1.73, 1.72. Some people say soon enough, all Myles Garrett gas prices across the country will be under 1.71. Now, the reason there's a 0.75 is because, I know you guys know this, I'm explaining to the audience, is because you can be rewarded a half sack, right? So they don't want to push on 1.5. Garrett's going for the record against Cam Ward and the Titans, who allow 4 sacks a game. Guess what? That's last in the league, or best if that's what you're trying to do. I looked up Cam Ward release time, guys, and what came up is release documentary on Tubi, December 4th, which is yesterday, 0 star, the Cam Ward story. No one saw it. You guys definitely didn't see it. Dabbundo, who watches everything, didn't see it. Anyway, didn't help me.
I missed that one.
Time.
Yeah, Tubi.
Yeah, that's it. Check it out. I'm not making it up. Back to Garrett, though. 8 sacks in the last 3 games, 4 multi-sack games, 19. He needs 3.5 to tie J.J. Watt and Michael Strahan. He gets a couple on Sunday. And I promise that's the only money I'll have on this putrid game. Do you like that, Garrett? 1.75.
I liked it at 1.72, but at 1.75.
Well, like I said, shop it around, see what happens. Let's go over college football, guys. This is the worst college football week of the year. I'm saying, I'm just putting it out there. Here's how. This Lane Kiffin talk is nonsense. It doesn't help the game. It's sad and destructive. So we had all week on that. Then there's the question, like, are the conference championships watered down? Do they mean as much? Of course they don't. These games are nonsense. You have 1 versus 2, and the only thing interesting about it in Indiana, Ohio State is who's going to win the Heisman Trophy. What if they weren't 1 and 2, saying in Mendoza? This game wouldn't matter at all. Both teams getting buys. Georgia, Alabama, fierce rivalry. The freaking regular season game meant so much more than this one does right now, right? And then you got Tech and BYU, Virginia, Duke. Okay, fine for positioning, and Duke can shake it up. But I hate this week. We got to get to December 19th.
College
ahead,
football
Heifetz.
right now is why people prefer dictatorship to oligarchy, because when you get a bunch of people just trying to, like 6 or 7 parties trying to squeeze it, you get this where they went from 4 teams I liked, and I
Do
think
the
it's the
6-7 thing, Heifetz. You said it. You got to go ahead. Beautiful.
But
All right.
But the 12-team playoff, I like it. I get the idea. I don't mind it. But last year, frankly, they were just mad that Arizona State and Boise State got buys. So then they tweaked it again, and they're like, you know what? The top teams get buys. And you get this, where it's going to cost them money. And it was a short-term decision that's not even good short-term, where you have 1 versus 2 for the Big Ten championship. And I have someone has invited me to a Christmas party Saturday.
No.
And it's going to be one of those where I'm like, I'll make them put on the game, but I guess it doesn't even matter if I miss half the thing, because which is the fact that they could construct that world where 1 and 2 could play in December, and it doesn't matter. It's actually hard to even make a system where that's possible, and maybe we should give them credit for finding the only version where that would be possible.
Right. I'm trying to see what the equivalent would be. Like, you know, they have all these division games in Week 18 in the NFL, and they struggle every year to find a Sunday night game where they belt matter. So that's a similar thing. And by the way, I'll be okay. Like, I'll trade it for a playoff system, which they fought years and years and years to get. By December 19th, I'll be okay. But this week sucks. This is Miami versus Notre Dame talk. This is Lane Kiffin talk, and this is 5 games that don't really matter. You know.
In all seriousness, Sal, there's going to be people this Christmas party who don't get it. And they're going to be like, oh, 1 versus 2, big game. And I'm like, how do I explain this to them? I'm like, it actually doesn't matter at all.
Right. Jesus.
Just another game. It's a jag.
Doesn't matter.
He just wants to talk about this Christmas party. I don't know. How do we get him off this Christmas party?
I also have a Christmas party, which I will be wearing candy striped pants too, just to troll my friend who's an Ohio State fan.
Okay. I'll throw a party for all of us if we can give our picks out in the next 2 minutes before going to break. Dabbundo, start us off. Go ahead.
Well, let's talk about the big game. I mean, I talked about it on Wednesday. We said we like Bama first half, Georgia to win the game, 6-1. I like the under in this game. Indiana, Ohio State, 2 teams who play so slow, 47.5. And I really think, you know, Ohio State, part of the deal with why they've been so slow this year is it's kind of like a load management in a way. And unlike last year where Ohio State dominated the trenches, I don't think that'll be the same thing this year. Where we've seen Indiana actually compete and battle with Oregon in the trenches, and that was a lower scoring game, especially. So I think this game profiles similar to that one. Buckeyes probably win it late, but ultimately I like the under 47.5.
Okay, I like that. I teased that with Indiana getting points. They almost got to they're over 10 actually if you do it that way. All right, Bama plus 2.5 for me. There are still people who think they should be out if they lose this game, which is ridiculous. I don't think you can penalize a team for losing in a top 2 championship game, the SEC or Big Ten. But I also don't think Caleb DeBoer takes any chances here. Like Bama, they've hung with this Georgia team. They match up well. They already beat them. It was one of Ty Simpson's best games. He was 24 for 38, 2 touchdowns. They held Gunnar Stockton to a very average game. That score was closer than the game, really. It was 14-0. Bama was controlling 35-25 time of possession. They're better than they were. I think they're much better against the run now. They proved that against Oklahoma. Georgia's going to have a hard time moving the ball. And I just think that Bama's a better team with more to lose. You could still get 10-1 odds on them not making the playoffs. It's Cowboys-esque prayer. The other way, 26-22 final, roll tide. I like getting the points here. But in terms of being meaningful, this game is a 4 when it should be a 9 or a 10. Go ahead. Hype man, hit us with your pick.
Yeah. Well, last 8 years, Georgia's lost to Bama 7 times, everyone else in college football 8 times, which is so funny to me. But I'm going Texas Tech, giving 12.5 to BYU. I think Texas Tech's underrated. I think they're ranked properly, but they're not really respected as a top 2 team. I think they are. They already beat BYU 29-7. BYU is a true freshman quarterback named DeBear, and I think Texas Tech's defensive line's overwhelming. I don't think BYU is going to be able to score, so I like Texas Tech quite a bit in this game.
And if they win big, they might get the bye anyway if they win, but that could keep them in the top 4. So that'll be fun. Also fun, handicapping the headlines. We're going to do that when we get back for break, and we will have our best bets as well. Stay with us. Ringer Gambling Show returns in 2 minutes. All right, welcome back to the Ringer Gambling Show. Cousin Sal, Anthony Dabbundo, Danny Heifetz. It's time, fellas. We're going to handicap the headlines. I got a couple for you. Number 1, LeBron James last night held to 8 points. Not such a big deal for any player, right? It happens, except it doesn't happen to him. That broke his double-digit streak. 1,297 games, Dabbundo. I would have tried to keep that going. Like, I know it's not a spectacular streak, 10 points, I could probably only do like 6 or 7 games in a row with 10 points, or 7 or 8. I didn't even mean to do the 6, 7 again. But anyway, go ahead, Dabbundo. What do you think it is?
It's in your head now.
Sorry. It is. You're right. Go ahead.
The guy who started the meme was at the Sixers last night. It was kind of funny. Anyway, I will say I am happy as a member of gambling Twitter that I no longer have to see the annoying accounts who post that they bet $15,000 to win $100 that LeBron would score 10 points, because there is people out there who do it. And I'm sorry to that guy because he lost $15,000.
He did.
Last
Now,
night.
did he win 1,296 times before that? 1,297. I don't know, Heifetz.
You know, I don't know about that guy, but that's what I have actually been doing for quite some time. I've actually been betting LeBron to do 10 points for 15 years, and I lost last night, so I'm net about $120 over the 15.
All right, good for you. When they asked LeBron his thoughts on the streak ending, he said none. We won.
Well, I was going to say, Sal, do you think it's selfish of LeBron to try to win the game instead of get the streak? Because now I'm talking about LeBron.
Yeah, he ditched it to Hachimura, right? And they hit a 3 at the buzzer and won 103-100, I think, to beat Toronto. I guess I should have started with that. So he could have.
No. You're right. I think Heifetz has the correct zag here.
He could have gone to overtime, right?
He wanted everyone
made
to
a
talk
shot right
about
there.
If he throws the ball into the seats, he
Right.
probably would have won the bet.
All right. Headline number 2, Netflix to buy Warner Brothers. Wow. According to Variety, Netflix and Warner Brothers Discovery announced an agreement Friday under which Netflix will acquire Warner Brothers, including its film and TV studios, HBO Max and HBO. The deal has a total enterprise value approximately $82.7 billion with an equity value of $72 billion. And this is interesting. Separately, Bill Simmons' Music Box doc series sold for $16 billion. So good for Bill. That's really nice. A little side deal there. But honestly, though, guys, The Ringer has partnered with Netflix. So what does this mean for us now that, Warner, the deal could be blocked, but let's say we have access to things like Superman and Batman and True Detective and Curb and Chair Company Season 2. What would be your dream job, Dabbundo, if we could get assigned something?
That's a good question. I would say that I would love to one day be involved in like a remake, but a better version of like an old time classic show.
What the hell does that mean? So which one?
I think we could come up with some kind of spin-off of like The Wire that was interesting, for example.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
and what
something like
role
that.
would you play in The Wire?
I don't think I'm enough of a drunk to play McNulty, nor am I a good enough detective. I don't think I'm enough of a
I think you're going to work on the docks. I think you're going to work on the docks when you
Frank
get
Sabatka?
money from gambling. Yeah.
You'll be an extra
Ziggy
on the
Sabatka?
docks? You won't be Proposition? No? Okay. All right.
Proposition Joe, maybe?
Yeah.
The white version?
It's going to be with Bubbles.
Heifetz, what would you do? This is, the world is our oyster here.
I just want to hang with Bugs Bunny. I just want to buy that guy a beer. Hear some stories.
But they did Batman and Superman, right? Who would be like the best ringer?
Superman is so firmly
Superman.
your generation. I think
Yeah.
that like Superman
Is
has
it?
no cultural imprint. I think below like 40.
Right.
I feel like for us it's Batman, but it's really the Joker is actually the person I kind of want to talk to.
Who makes the best Joker out of the ringer in the ringer world?
Oh, that's easy. It would definitely be Charles Holmes.
Yeah.
I see that.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
so?
He's a chaos agent. I don't really know what
I
he
see.
wants, but he
Okay.
wants stuff, but it burn.
All right. All right.
Some men just want that.
I could see Joe
What
House
about you,
being a
Sal?
good Joker. I think I would definitely, I would go Chair Company Season 2. Have you guys watched? If we can
I
get
have.
in there.
I have
it's the
not.
best.
Lapse this entire episode.
Put the sports aside for 30 minutes, Dabbundo. 5 times, 6 times, 7 times. Go watch it. Yeah. I'm in Chair Company Season 2. Yeah, I would even play a fat chair if they needed me to. A futon there. All right, there's a lot to think about now that we're part of the Warner universe there, and it's not going to take us away from sports. We have best bets coming up when we return. Oh my God, we got some football, basketball. We'll hit it. Ringer Gambling. All right, we're back. Ringer Gambling Show. It's funny. HBO just announced they are featuring a series with Anthony Dabbundo watching a live stream of the soccer draw, the World Cup, during a Ringer gambling show. I am going to be fascinated by that. What is going on, Dabbundo? What are we missing here?
My best bet just cashed. Sorry that you guys couldn't get in early on it, but over
Okay.
54.5 minutes until anything actually meaningful or important happened at the World Cup draw. They started at 12. It is 12:55 p.m. Eastern, and not a single country has been drawn yet that we didn't already know was preordained into the draw based on how the seeding works.
Okay.
So
That
nothing
best
has
bet
happened. So I didn't
might
miss
be
anything.
more interesting than your actual best bet, which is Quinnipiac plus 3.5.
This is what we call a prime degenerate special. And if anybody who bets college basketball regularly, which I'm ashamed to admit that I do from time to time, there's the Friday night MAC games, not the MAC, but the MAC, MAAC. They often tip 6 o'clock Friday night, 7 o'clock Friday night. There's not often a lot of college, sports going on tonight. A handful of games. Quinnipiac is plus 3.5. Line should be like 1. So I'm going to take the value there with Quinnipiac in just an epically degenerate game. Will I watch it? No. But I will
Heifetz.
hopefully cash the bet.
This is a conference championship game. North Texas, Tulane. You're going over.
North Texas #1 offense in America. I mean, the over is 66 points. North Texas scored over 50 points 7 times this year. They're the #1 offense in America, and their defense sucks. They're like the Cowboys. You're probably familiar. So I think the over in this game's a lot.
Oh, all right. I'm taking an over too. James Madison over 34.5. Team total minus 125. They need to impress the committee. They have 39 wins in 4 years. Kurt Signetti and now Bob Chesney is off to UCLA. Not just a Duke win. The Dukes, it's weird. The Dukes need a Duke win. They have to impress this team. They may look to put 50 on this team. 35 plus in 7 games, and 5 of the last 6. They're going to do this. Barnett, the third, responsible for a ton of offense. Let's do it. Over. That's it for Ringer Gambling Show. For Dabbundo, for Heifetz, I'm Sal, saying so long, and may your parlays be prosperous. Must be 21 or older and present in select states, or 18 or older and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. You must be 21 or older and present in select states. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 or older and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG, 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut, or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 877-8-HOPE-NEW YORK or text HOPE New York in New York.